Hi everyone, my name is James Feeney. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you all through my travel tarot kit or my tarot on the go kit. I think that this is something that's fun. It might be helpful for others out there who, like me, like to take their tarot practice on the road with them or like to make what they do portable. And that's something I do with most things in my life. I find ways to take anything I like to do and make it portable so that I might be able to take it with me traveling or just when I want to go somewhere. So this is ideal if, for example, you go on vacation, you go on a trip, if you like to go to a cafe, if you want to go to a park. The idea here is to make this light and easy and something that you don't have to fuss with too much. Sometimes I'll take a bigger tote bag or a backpack, but there are other times when I really want to be light and easy breezy and not have something that's going to be so heavy weighing me down or worrying about where I'm going to put it or holding on to it if I'm on an extended walk or not knowing what's going to happen throughout the day. And so this is something that is rather small and lightweight. It's one of those, I would say they're kind of a fad right now, those sort of shoulder crossbody bags that are quite small and compact. I tend to put it over my shoulder like this. It matches a lot of what I wear considering I mostly wear black, and it looks like this and has this J pin on it, which I recently got at a flea market in Brooklyn in New York, and I just thought it was super fun and cute and interesting, and it just looks like little stick figure kind of things of kids, and it just reminds me of my childhood. So without further ado, and I'll link where I got this. It's a brand called Offends. I believe it's an Australian company. I really enjoy their clothing as well. I don't think this exact model, I guess, of bag is still on the site, but they have the exact same shape and construction, but I believe the one that's on the site now is made of a more corduroy type of outer part, where this is more canvas feeling. But yeah, if you want to check out or are looking to get something like this, it has a magnetic closure, which I value. It makes it easy. I don't have to fuss with any clips or straps. The idea of this tarot on the go kit is that I can have it, I can open it and just whip something out. I really want it to be something that I can use in a given moment if I feel really compelled to draw a card for myself, if I'm with others or run into somebody and want to do that for them. And the whole idea here is to just make it as accessible as possible. And so that would be a big pro tip, is to keep it light, not something that you know you're going to have to fuss with too much as far as straps or getting it on your back or how you're going to hold it or where you're going to put it. Is it a big weight on you? This is extremely light. And so yes, in here I can't fit a ton, but I have been able to fit the bare essentials. And those essentials are as follows. So the first thing I have in here at the very top or in the front part, and the way I've layered this is to put the things that take up the most space, that are the widest, at the back, and then progressively we stack things, and the more narrow small things go towards the front. That just makes common sense. So make sure you're organizing it and trying to place the items very intentionally so that you can optimize the little space you might have in a tarot go kit. But the first thing I have is actually a little old-fashioned electric timer. I use this quite a bit for readings in the shop or if I'm ever doing readings for someone else. And also sometimes I like to use it for myself to either do a timed reading or to keep track of the amount of time a reading takes. But when reading for others, in order to keep track of time, it's very helpful. And I like this because I can set it up. It has a prop or magnets, which work as well. You can use it in the way of it being a timer. So you can set an amount of time and it kind of counts down the clock for you. You can just keep track of the time. You can also just have the time on it, which I don't think I would really need. I have a phone and such, but I like that when it runs out of time, for example, here I'll just put it on for like 5 seconds. So I believe that's 5 seconds, right? Yeah. So when it runs out of time, it doesn't make a noise and it just kind of blinks. And so you can't even really see it. The red light is sometimes visible in dimmer, but I appreciate that because I'll face it towards myself so the client doesn't know that their time is just about out. It's not something that they watch as the clock is counting down, and it's not jarring like an alarm. So I really value this timer for that. I know some people use other things, but I want something that only I can see and that the client can't tell how much time is exactly left, because I feel like sometimes they may feel rushed, or they may worry about getting to something and that takes away from the reading, or they're more focused on the time than they are the questions and the dialogue and the reading itself. And then I also don't want to break myself out of any sort of conversation exactly when the time ends. I'm not a stickler for ending on the dot. Usually the fact that this runs out is my sort of mental thing to say, okay, we should start wrapping things up, and I start to bring things to a conclusion, but I don't halt the reading. I don't want it to feel like there's this like meh, 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 and I have to stop, or we're like, oh, we all get drawn out of what we're doing. Really, really value this timer. It's actually quite an underrated tool in my kit, and one that I usually will have on me if I think I'm going to read for anybody. Now, the one that you can put any tarot deck that you like in your kit. The one that I just threw in here was the Midnight deck, which I've been loving, by Gergely Bagameri. This is a newer deck in my collection. I've mentioned that I love it. It's cheeky, it's fun, it's just one that I enjoy, but I do like that it's on the smaller side. This is a bit smaller even than a traditional tarot card. If you were to take like the Rider-Waite-Smith, put these together, it's a bit on the smaller side. And I would say for a Tarot Go kit, you don't want those big oracle decks that you can barely hold in your hands, or the ones that are super, super thick with the 400 GSM rose petal finish cardstock that's going to be like a chunker. You want one that's probably on the smaller side, and whether that's a mini tarot in a tin. I know US Games makes those, and those are great. I would highly recommend those actually for a Tarot on the Go kit, because they also protect the deck. But because I don't have one of those with me at the moment, I just tossed this one in, and I know it's on the smaller side. But those Tarot in a tin options are perfect because there's another layer of protection for the cards. If, for example, you get wet, the tin will, to some degree, be a bit waterproof. I know this is a thicker canvas, and it's gotten a bit wet before, and it has held up in that way. So something that's not going to be, if you had a super thin linen tote, the water's going to get it really quickly, versus something that's a bit thicker and can offer some protection from the elements. That would be ideal. You don't want your cards or anything you put in there getting wet. Because this is a Tarot on the Go kit, of course, I bring a tarot cloth or something I can lay out to lay the cards on, so that I don't have to put them on the ground or a dirty table. So if there's a picnic table in the park, if I decide to just sit in the grass, I can unfold this. I picked one that's on the thinner side, so not super thick double layer fabric, because that's going to, as you fold it, become thicker and take up a lot more space. This is a single layered piece of fabric, and I can fold it very easily. It is on the larger side, actually, when it does fully fold out. It just has a sort of constellation. My aunt actually made this for me with a matching tarot bag and a bigger tarot bag, but I carry this one around because it's on the thinner side, but it's also good quality, and I can fit a lot on it. So I can do like a Celtic cross or a larger spread on this, which I appreciate quite a bit. And it's cotton, it's washable, so I can just go home if it gets some dirt on it and give it a wash. It's not like it's silk or anything too precious that I wouldn't be able to clean it easily. So maybe something that's cotton or just easy to clean for yourself is probably ideal, and on the thinner side, and make sure it's big enough that you can fit the cards on it and not just a small little square where you can only fit like a card or two on it. So that's my balance anyway. Of course, all of these are suggestions and anecdotally what I do. This is, what I do, and you don't have to take any of this advice. And if you disagree or you have other ideas to contribute, I value those ideas, so please comment them below. I'm always learning from people in the comments about various topics that I talk about. There's so much that I don't know and so much that other people do, and I love being educated on those things. But the next thing we have in here, and I guess close to the last, is this, if I can get it out, is this, well, it's in its own little linen thing, but it's a journal. And for me, having something to write on and to write with is key for any tarot practice, whether I'm reading for myself, a client, if I'm just pulling cards in a more meditative way and it's not about the actual reading, but just working with the cards, or maybe I'm studying them in a more experiential way and decide to take them out at a cafe or at a park bench, and I'm comparing the card maybe to a flower or something. There are so many reasons and times when I have a journal or need to have a journal on me, whether it's that I feel inspired or I need to write something down for someone or for myself. I have an idea, I want to doodle something. This is the Midori I believe it's Midori Traveler's Notebook. And so it comes with it's one that you can refill, which I find really helpful, especially when you don't want to have to keep replacing the journal, and you can just order the inserts, and you can also kind of customize the way the inserts work. This is kind of the standard, so it comes with a few pages, which keeps it thin. I don't want it to get too thick, but I also put in the inserts. One is a sort of cardboard folder, so I could put a card in there potentially if I wanted to make sure I'm like, oh, I know I want to write about this card, slip one in. And also has little pockets for things that I might want to include in there. So it's nice in that way. And then there's also a little Ziploc one that I can fit potentially a card in. I can fit a Post-it, I can fit a note, I can fit stickers, I can fit any of the little various and sundry things you might want to pick up or bring with you. Maybe the flower I was actually writing about, I pick one off and I want to keep it with me or something to later press it into something. But this has been a lifesaver for me lately, this idea of like a little traveler's journal. I got it on Amazon. I know Midori has a website, and there are plenty of like passport size, that's what this is, the passport sized journal. I think that those are great for things on the go. Really been valuing that. And then this pen, which I think is from the same company. It's from the Travelers Company, which I believe is the same. It looks like this. I thought it was so cute. I was like, I have to get this. It'll look perfect. It'll fit with it essentially perfectly. But what I do is then it pops out like this, and then I insert it like that, and then you have more of a full-sized pen, and I absolutely love it. I think it's genius, it's perfect, it's cute, and you can refill it. So it's not like when it's out, you buy the ink little things and you just refill it, which I appreciate as well, instead of having to chuck the pen out. And yeah, so that, wait, no, there is a little bit more here. I lied. So this one also has a pocket in the back, one that has this, and it's the little things. Sometimes pockets like that for me can make or break something, because if I want to put something and have a level of separation, usually that's great when I have papers or something that I need to kind of put in there that I know I'm going to need to pull out later, versus when it's kind of just one place to put everything and it kind of all gets jarbled. I find that the structuring of pouches inside of a small bag is ideal for me. Likewise, there is this pouch on the back, this little one that you might forget. It's a zipper pouch, and in here specifically I could fit another however many things in there. I could even potentially fit a small deck or my playing cards, which I sometimes have room for, especially if I were to do like a tarot in a tin. But I could also put these in the back zip pocket, and along with that I have room for my business cards, which is something I love to have on me. I usually have a few in my wallet, but it's nice to have enough. And especially if I'm taking just this tarot kit with me to the shop where I read at and I don't want to bring a big tote, I have a tarot deck, I have a playing card deck, and of course all of the people who may walk in for walk-in readings or who maybe are just inquiring about a workshop or something I'm teaching, I have more than enough business cards as opposed to the very few that I can fit in my wallet. I also have stickers that I make and other things that I might put in there to give to people or to put on things, and so this back pocket works perfectly for that. And it's almost like your secret little deck in the back that you wouldn't expect, which for me is playing card deck. And of course I can play games with the playing card deck if I'm feeling so inclined, but I usually use them for divination. But essentially that takes us through my Tarot on the Go kit. I think it's really fun to just have one, and I'll usually have it fully packed up and on a sort of handle by my door, and so I can grab it right when I'm running out, especially if I'm running late or the sun is perfect and I'm like, this is the perfect time, I don't want to waste a second. It's almost already all packed up, ready to go. The journal pretty much lives in here, so I don't have to take the things in and out unless I'm actively using it on the go. I'd love to know if any of you out there have travel or Tarot on the Go type kits or bags or sets for you to take your decks and practice with you. Are they bigger or smaller? Are there certain things you look for that I haven't spoken about? I would love to know. Maybe you like to have other oracle decks, or maybe you like to have a planner in there because that's something that helps you to get more organized. So the possibilities are endless, but I would love to know more. I hope you were all well. Like and subscribe if this was fun or interesting, and until next time,